Hello, boyos. I'm gonna sound kind of mean in this video, but I feel like doing this video because it's necessary, I think. There's been a lot of drama recently in the black pill community regarding the division between sub 5s and sub 8s, which I think is I guess it is kind of necessary, but I think this could be settled if people just agree to disagree, because I don't think that this sort of confusion is going to lead anywhere, because we simply do not understand each other, and I don't think we ever will. We ever will. I don't think so. Because the only way to solve this sort of issues is to understand that we live in our own individual realities, with our own fixed minds and bodies, which gives us a completely different experience to each one. So I think that this sort of problem will never be solved simply because we do not understand each other, and we will never do that. So yeah, I think that this confusion is kind of dumb. Although I do not deny that, of course, it is harder for the ugliest males compared to the sub-8s and all that. There's no denying there, but it's precisely because of that there's no use in arguing about it, because we simply do not understand each other. Our experiences are completely different. So, but nonetheless, that's not going to stop people from still shaming each other, telling them to act otherwise and stuff like that because it works for them and stuff. Yeah, it's that's where I'm coming with this video. That simply argue about this is it's not going to go anywhere. All we can really do is just try to understand each other to the best of our ability, and just accept that we're not living in really the same worlds. You know, each world of ours is individual and separate, and because of that, you never get a real picture of how it is. So. But nonetheless, people are still, of course, going to deny the black pill, even in the community itself. I see this a lot still, which is funny. And yeah, I already said in the beginning of this video, I'm gonna use very bad words in this one. You know, the black pill is it's no joke. You know, it's really the last. I wouldn't say that the last pill to swallow, because I think the last pill is the white pill. It is the hardest to swallow, which is the pill where you just accept everything as it is, and not because of something you wish it could be, which is extremely hard to do. But nonetheless, yeah, the black pill is the second hardest to swallow, and it's a game changer, you know, because you realize the black pill is really about determinism itself, cold, hard determinism. And as much as we don't like that word, and we try to fantasize that we do have some sort of control, because it feels better that way, I don't know about you, but I prefer to live with the only truth that I can know, that this world runs on cause and effect, and our minds and bodies are not separate from those rules. So, this channel, as I said before, is not for the faint of heart. This is where I'm going to discuss really deep philosophical issues. And I fucking cage a lot at people who think that philosophy is a cope. It is not. Philosophy is not a cope. Sometimes I wish I hadn't touched these books, but at the same time, this is the only way you can gain true peace, true freedom, because there is no other way. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about some people that have emailed me. I'm gonna talk about these people. I've been receiving a lot of abuse, which I have nothing against. I don't give a fuck about abuse from internet people. I don't give a fuck about comments. I fucking cage at people who tell me that I'm deleting comments from my videos. I'm not. For some fucking reason, it is always YouTube that is doing it. I don't give a shit about what people are saying. People are emailing me, telling me to go kill myself and telling me that I'm defeatist or whatever. I don't give a shit, I've experienced a lot worse shit in real life. I've been beaten up by chats, humiliated, in both in work and in school, physically and mentally. Yeah, but I'm not gonna whine about it. All of that shit. It was inevitable. It was just. Why be mad at people for doing the things they do? They're just machines, so it really doesn't make sense. So I don't give a shit. People can abuse me all they want. They can send me those nasty emails. I don't give a fuck. But here's the thing. These emails say more about these people than they say about me, because as I said in this channel is not for the faint of heart. I don't give a shit about your feelings. I'm just giving you cold hard truths. Okay, if you think that your mind and body is somehow separate from nature, separate from causality, separate from physics, then you're a coping faggot, okay? You're the biggest fucking coper that exists. I fucking cage at you, okay? I fucking hate these people. Oh, hate is a bad word. It's more of a. I feel more of pity against these people more than anything. To think that if I tried what they tried, that I would get the same success. No, I won't. I've already tried everything. I've already explained this in my videos. I've tried doing PUA bullshit. I tried gym maxing, looks maxing. I fucking tried everything. I tried a bunch of procedures for my face to get a cleaner look and all that. I tried everything. Everything except plastic surgery. And that's where I don't cross the line. I don't cross the line with that shit. If people are not gonna love me for what I am, for who I am, for my mind and my body, then I'm not gonna do shit. I'm done with that. If it means that I'm gonna die alone, because I'm not stooping to those levels where I'm gonna modify my body for other people, and so be it. I'm not gonna do it. If you want to do it, I'm not stopping you. If you want to go gym max, PUA max, fucking tattoo max, or whatever the fuck, go ahead and do it. I'm not stopping anyone, okay? All I'm doing with these videos is that it's to tell you that you are not separate from nature. You're not separate from causality, okay? If something works for you, then good for you. But that does not mean that it works for everyone. It's as simple as that. I'm done with maxing. I'm done with it. I have absolutely benefited nothing from it. Absolutely nothing. Every time when I've done it, it's become like a full-time job. And if the dating scene is a full-time job for you, then you should quit, because that is not what it is all about. It's about having fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, then you're just not made for it. It's as simple as that. If it's causing you pain, anxiety, and anguish doing that, then it's not for you. You're simply not meant for it. You're not structured for it. Your mind and body is not structured for that sort of activity, okay? So that's all I'm saying. I know that this sounds dark and all that, but it is what it is. I rather accept reality and accept it for what it is, than to live in imagination, okay? So that's all I have to say about that. So yeah, I mean, if you have the same experience as me, I did not enjoy maxing out. I did not enjoy it at all. I felt out of place, and I tried. Even when I felt out of place, I tried it the best of my ability. And from what I counted, from what I remember, I had, I think, a little bit over 100 total rejections in total. All I got was fake numbers from women in the clubs, and a couple of kisses on the cheek here and there, but nothing other than that. It did not work. So when something doesn't work, you do not keep doing it. If you keep doing it, that is insanity, okay? Okay, boyos, that is insanity. You do not keep doing it. You give up. You give up, okay? All those other people that tell you to not give up, they tell you that because it worked for them. All of these things that they tried, it worked for them, and then they think that it's somehow going to work for you. That's not how it works, okay? I know my body, I know my mind, and I know myself. I know myself, and I know when to give anything I do. I understand when I should just quit it. And that's the only way I've kept my sanity during all of these years, is that I know myself enough to know when to quit. And I suggest that you should do the same. Okay? And all these people, they can abuse me all they want, but this is the truth that I am speaking. This is all my channel is about. Is I'm giving you the hard, cold truth, okay? The human body and mind are slaves to physics, okay? Necessity, causality. All of the greatest philosophers and scientists of all the time agreed with this, okay? If you think that you somehow are separate from those laws, you are coping. You are coping really hard. Your entire existence is robotic, okay? We are biological automatons. We cannot escape that. That is the only way we can understand this universe, the only way we can understand ourselves, and we cannot look beyond that, okay? So that's what I think is the main problem, is the main issue here, is that each one of us are simply living in completely different worlds, and therefore we will never understand each other. We will never understand each other's struggles and our own motivations behind our actions, because we simply do not live in the same world. And you may say that, well, if we're not living in the same world, then how come we experience somehow the exact same reality? It's because the structure of our minds are identical. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. We're living in an intersubjective reality, but the reality itself is not objective. We cannot know anything about what this world really is, because our minds are always conforming what we think is out there, conforming it in a usable way to our minds so that we can use this sort of world to our benefit, but we have no idea what it is. So at the end of the day, our entire existences are subjective. So therefore, all we can do is just try to respect each other, respect each other's choices, and that's it. This channel is not about defeatism. If you think that this channel is about defeatism, it's not. It's about realism. It's about knowing what we can know and what we cannot know. Okay? Because all of these faggots that have been emailing me are treating me as if I have some sort of control over my own destiny. But I've done enough introspection and read enough books to come to the realization that there's no such thing as control. Control is just a made-up concept of our minds. There is no control. There's only symbiosis. And the empirical sciences have proved this. For example, subatomic particles like gluons and quarks are intertwined in the whole of the observable universe. Your mind and body is in a permanent state of symbiosis with all the stars and planets all around the universe. Everything is linked. A cause and effect matrix. I've done the studies. Leibniz, Spinoza, Hegel, Schopenhauer, you name it. And all of these philosophers were adored by a great deal of scientists, you know. Von Braun, Einstein, just to name two of them. So, yeah, I rather live with the truth than live with imagination, okay? So, before I quit this video, I want to give you some quotes from Spinoza's Ethics. I'm going to read proposition 27. A thing which has been conditioned by God to act in a particular way cannot render itself unconditioned. And then there's the proof. This proposition is evident from the third axiom. And then when we look at the third axiom, it says, from a given definite cause, an effect necessarily follows. And, on the other hand, if no definite cause be granted, it is impossible that an effect can follow. Well, there you go. Cause and effect. Cause and effect all the way. You were caused to exist by your parents, and your parents were caused to exist by other parents, and so on to infinity. It's all part of this one giant cause and effect process, all the time. Could I communicate these words with you if I did not learn English? How did I learn English? With the help of causality. I cannot escape that. Everything is caused. My brain is caused. My body is caused. Our entire lives are basically just we're just action and reaction all the time. There's nothing really in there, in the brain, that has actually any control. All you have is just perception. You think that the perception itself is in control of the body, but it is not. Yeah, this is probably going to cause a lot of anguish in some people that are listening to this, but you know, this is just a start. If you think that this is dark. Just fucking wait for the Black Pill series because it's gonna get even darker than this. But yeah, I don't give a shit, faggots. You know, if you wanna keep giving me these emails, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. All I'm giving you is truth. If you don't want to accept these truths, that's not my problem. Okay. But I just find it so fucking funny that there's basically not even a hint of trying to understand each other. Not even a hint. No respect. Nothing. We just think that, oh, because I did this, it's gonna work for you. No, it's not gonna work. And I know that a lot of my advice is not gonna work for some people. I've already received a lot of people that told me that my advice is bullshit, and of course it's bullshit. It's because it doesn't work for you. It's as simple as that. But that doesn't mean it's not gonna work for other people. So get what I mean? It's yeah, that's just the way it is. Because we are, as Spinoza said, you know, in this book, in this excellent book, we are determined beings. We cannot understand each other. We have different biases that we are born with, and it's as simple as that. So yeah, if you're a sub-5 male, you should just give up. Just give up for your own sake. Give up, because you know there's just too much hope still in the Black Pill community about the future. And I have nothing against hope. If you want to hope for better things, go ahead. I'm not stopping you, okay? If you want to keep hoping, coping, okay, for a better future, go ahead and do it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the only thing that has been working for me. I'm going to hope for the worst. And I don't know if that works for you, but for me, it makes me happy to know, to not expect things to get any better. So yeah, I fucking cage at the sub-5s who still have hope over their future. Please don't have hope. Don't hope for any good things to happen. Hope for the worst, because when you hope for the worst, you won't be disappointed. And I'd rather live my own life not being constantly disappointed all the time. That's how I choose to be. I do not want to be disappointed all the time. Because I've lived with hope before, and it hasn't worked for me. It doesn't work. Hope does not work for sub-5 males, okay? Abandon all hope. And surprise, surprise, you know what's going to happen if you do that long enough. You won't be happy, but you will be content with your situation. And that's the best we can hope for as true selves, okay? And just let the normies tell you whatever they want. They're going to tell you a bunch of bullshit like, no, if you cannot have a family, then you should just kill yourself. Well, let them tell you that. Let them tell you that. But the harsh reality is that, you know, from my own experience, and normies that have children, they're not fucking happy. All the colleagues that I've had, I've never heard them speak anything positive about their kids. They're always been whining about their kids, about how expensive it is to have kids, how much they get annoyed during night because they had to give them a bottle of warm milk and stuff like that. I mean, just a bunch of fucking whining. It's like there's no love there at all. It's like all of these people that actually have kids, they shouldn't even get kids. They shouldn't even have kids. It's like they had kids just for the sake of having them. And that's just insane. You know, I have nothing against people that have kids. Even though myself I am antinatalist, I still don't blame people for having kids. Because how can you blame robots, biological robots? You know, they want to have kids, let them do it. It's not a crime. I don't think it is. Because everything is a part of a cause and effect process. How can you blame robots? You know, as much as I have anger still at some people, especially at some people that used to do a lot of harm to me, I still know that I can't really blame them, because they were robots. They were gonna do all the harm. All of that harm they were gonna do to me was inevitable. You know, it was just all part of a cause and effect process. So I can't really fault them. You know. So yeah, I fucking cage at sub 5s who still have hope. Please abandon hope. Please do it for your own sake, because you will be way more healthier than if you were to live with hope. Let the sub 8s have hope. Let them have all the hope they want, and you will see with time just how crushed they will get when they become beta boxed and cucked. All of these guys that have so much hope, they think that they're somehow special, that somehow they are not gonna experience getting beta boxed and cucked like all the other sub 8s that have been boxed and cucked. I fucking cage at those guys, man. I cage so fucking hard against those people. It's just so sad. They think that the future is somehow going to be different, somehow going to be better than the lives that their parents had, or their great grandparents had. Nothing changes, man. We're stuck in a cycle, okay? A causal cycle. Misery never ends. That's why I've come to the only rational conclusion that I could come to, is that whether I like it or not, all of this experience is going to end with me. And a very strange thing is that now the more black pill you become, the more you realize that actually there's nothing wrong with the world. Because the world cannot express itself in any other way. Things cannot go in any other way. So, you know, I'm done with blaming feminism and blaming women and blaming, you know, all the rest of the world except myself. I'm tired with that. I don't know about you, but I'm tired with that. I'm slowly coming to the acceptance of the world as it is, not for what I wish it could be. As insane as it may sound, the world is actually perfect. Not perfect because it is good for us, but perfect because it could not be any other way. That is what perfection actually is. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. I hope that this did not trigger people, but I guess it's inevitable that it will trigger some people, but that's not my problem. If the words coming out of this machine is hurting you somehow, then you should check yourself instead of blaming me. Because you're just blaming a machine.